What's going on, guys? Welcome to my final 2024 NHL mock draft. You guys missed my all-mark trade sim video. You might be wondering, where am I? Well, I actually moved. That's why I haven't been uploading too much the past week and a half, but wanted to make this for you guys, just giving you my thoughts on what's going to happen in the draft tomorrow. So we're going to jump right into it here, not overthink it. First overall pick, Macklin Celebrini. I mean, unanimous pick. If the Sharks don't take him, they deserve to not make the playoffs for the next decade plus, but I'm pretty sure they're going to, and it's pretty cool, of course, with his dad, being part of the Golden State Warriors. He's already from that area. I think it's, a perfect fit. Plus, the Sharks are terrible. They definitely could use him. Next pick here, Chicago Blackhawks. They should be taking Levshunov. There was some debate about them potentially going Demidov, but sounds like they're going to go with him. I think they definitely, could use a number one defenseman. And if he is your future number 1D with Bedard as your 1C, that's a very, solid duo to build the team around. Next up here, we got the Anaheim Ducks, or should I say the Mighty Ducks. Loving that new logo. Now, I will say, personally, prefer the old colors, like the purple, the green, but I mean, this logo is definitely already, top 5 logo in the NHL compared to their old logo, which was easily bottom 5 logo in the NHL. I'm not sure why they took them so long to make this switch, but even with the new colors, I definitely love that logo. I mean, they literally have the Wild Wing mask. I don't know if you guys can see it right here. I've got a Wild Wing in my office. I got that when I was a kid, still have it just because I was that big of a Mighty Ducks fan. Not even just the team, but like the cartoon, the movies. I loved everything about them. Now, having said that, I got them taking a defenseman here at number 3. Anton Salayev. He's like the big 6'7" Russian defenseman. A lot of people think Anaheim's going to go with the defenseman if Levshunov's off the board. He's probably the next guy to go for. Obviously not the most offensive guy, but they've already got that in both Zellweger and Mintyukov, so I feel like Salayev should be like their solid stay-at-home defenseman. If he can be half as good as, say, Zdeno Chara, then I think they get a really good pick there at 3. Next up here, number 4, the Columbus Blue Jackets. I have them going with Caden Lindstrom here. He has the potential to be a future 1C in the NHL. I feel like the Blue Jackets still looking for that center depth. Obviously, they got Ken Johnson. Could be a winger, could be a centerman. I think Lindstrom definitely, helps fill out that core. They've already got some good young defensemen coming up. I think Lindstrom's exactly what they need, so they're going to pull the trigger on him. And at number 5 here, guys, following the Montreal Canadiens, hopefully they don't make the same mistake they made last year in passing on Michkov. They take Ivan Demidov. I feel like he is probably the second best player in terms of talent in this draft. But everything I'm hearing says he's going to slip. I think, Blackhawks, Ducks take defenseman. I think Blue Jackets want a centerman. That lets Montreal come in and take this guy. I mean, imagine a first line of him, Suzuki, Caulfield. Could be absolutely nasty. So hopefully Montreal does not mess that one up. Next year, guys, number 6, we got the Utah Hockey Club. I've got them as the Utah Yeti here, taking Zane Parekh. I think just kind of looking at their team, they definitely need like a dynamic blue liner, someone to run a power play. And I think of all the available defensemen, Parek's definitely the best one. Set a bunch of OHL records, most goals as a rookie. I think he had the most points as a defenseman ever in Saginaw Spirit history. Helped them actually win their first ever Memorial Cup. I think first ever Memorial Cup for an American OHL team. So I think Parek's the pick there for Utah. And like I said, he should fit in really well in the future. Next year, number 7, the Ottawa Senators. I think they're going to go defense as well. And I feel like the safe pick here is probably Sam Dickinson. He's a guy that's been in the top 10 all year. Solid defenseman for the London Knights. Two-way defenseman, can provide offense. Also defense. He's like pretty big, solid physical game. I think the Ottawa Senators make a nice pick, especially too. I've heard they're rumored to potentially be trading Thomas Chabot, maybe even Eric Branstrom. So if they're trading out a couple of defensemen, they definitely need a new one. Now, Seattle Kraken here at 8. I've had them taking Parekh all year. At this point, though, he's gone. So they take Zane Buium. I think for them, they definitely need defense more than offense. He's the next best available one. I don't think it's going to hurt them too much. That, he's going to be going to play college. Wait a couple years, he'll come in. And I think, Seattle, by that time, Beniers will be better. Shane Wright should be a regular NHL player. Hopefully a star for their sake. And Buium can join that solid young team. Number 9 here, Calgary Flames. All year I've had them taking TJ Ginla. Not going to switch it up. I feel like it's just the perfect fit. And watch, I'm sure they're not even going to do it. He's going to be on the board, and they're going to pass on him for whatever reason. But I feel like he's the pick for the Flames. And now next year, guys, at number 10, I have the Devils taking Cole Yzerman. He was a guy that was supposed to go top 5 earlier on in the year, even like 3, I think. Fell to the top 10, and recently I've even seen him projected outside the top 15, but he's the best pure goal scorer in this draft. Goals win you games. I think the Devils could use a true goal scorer to play alongside Jack Hughes, even Hischier in the future. So I think for the Devils, they take that risk, they take Yzerman, and hopefully for their sake, the risk on him is worth the reward. Now, number 11 here, the San Jose Sharks. They actually just traded for this pick with Buffalo. They trade up a second to move from 14 to 11. So I think for them, they really want to get a solid defenseman behind Celebrini. Picking number 11, I think most of the guys are going to be gone, but they can still get a pretty solid player. As I've got them taking Carter Yakimachuk. I think of all the defensemen available, it's either him or Adam Jarechek who's the best one, but I think Yakimachuk's definitely the best offensively. When you look at the San Jose Sharks on defense, they got no one to run a power play. So even though I'm sure he's still a couple years out, look for the future when Celebrini, Will Smith, Will Eklund are all, star players. Yakimchuk hopefully join the team as a young defenseman and can hopefully provide that offensive boost on the power play I'm talking about. Now, number 12 here, the Philadelphia Flyers. I think they get a great pick. Falling to them is Berkeley Catton. I have heard Danny Briere say he's trying to move up in this draft. Some of the guys he's eyeing, though, like Lindstrom, Demidov, unless he can get into the top 5, he's not landing them. So I think at 12, Berkeley Catton falling to them, honestly, is a great pick. And you add him to Michkov, Oliver Bonk last year. I mean, I think, honestly, the Flyers are going to continue to just build some really good prospects here and probably be a very competitive team in the future. Number 13 here at Minnesota Wild, I've got them taking Costa Helenius. I feel like the Wild could probably use anything forward, defense. They don't need a goalie, but in terms of a skater, Helenius, in my opinion, is just the best available player at this point. So solid Finnish winger there. Should be a big part of that team in the future as well. Number 14 here, Buffalo Sabres. I got them taking Beckett Seneca. He's a guy that's definitely jumped up a lot in the draft rankings that I'm seeing, but he had a solid OHL playoff run. I think Buffalo, they like their CHL players. Defensively now, with Byram, Power, Dahlin, they should be set. Seneca there out of that forward group. A lot of good young players there. Got a lot of Sireman, though. Seneca's more of a winger, so hopefully fits in well. Next year, guys, at 15, I got the Red Wings taking my guy, Liam Greentree, captain of the Windsor Spitfires. And I know the Red Wings scout out the Spitfire games quite a bit. I see Chris Draper there all the time, some other guys, so hopefully they take him. I'm sure, it's not going to go that way. So this pick's definitely one I want to see happen, but we'll see, how it actually turns out. And then finally, guys, at 16, I got St. Louis Blues here taking Brandsteg Nygaard, Norwegian forward there. I feel like, he's a guy that can definitely help them on the PK, power play, can play in your top 6, can play even your bottom 6. Just kind of do everything for you. Somebody they can just use up and down the lineup, so hopefully turns into a good player for them. And now moving on here, guys, to the second half of the draft, I got the Washington Capitals taking Adam Jaracek. I think when you look at their kind of prospect pool, their defense is definitely lacking. So Jaracek's the next best available defensive prospect. Obviously, his brother there, David Jaracek. I know that, the Capitals right now, only goal is to get Ovechkin to beat Gretzky's record, but by the time whoever this pick is jumps in the NHL, good chance Ovi might be retired. So Adam Jaracek for the future, I think, is the best pick there for the Capitals. Next year, number 18, I have the Chicago Blackhawks taking Michael Hage. Right now, he's committed to play at the University of Michigan, but obviously Chicago's in no rush to get him to the NHL. They got a lot of time here for the rebuild. He actually played for Chicago Steel as well in the USHL, so hopefully, they saw a lot of his game, and I think, for me, Chicago, they're looking for best player available, and I feel like that might be Michael Hage, so definitely worth a shot for them. And now next year, guys, number 19, the Vegas Golden Knights taking Trevor Connolly. Kind of like Blackhawks at this point, the Vegas Golden Knights are kind of the other end of the spectrum. Chicago, they're rebuilding, they could use everything, so they're taking best player available. For me, Vegas Golden Knights are a very good team already. Whoever this player is, good chance he probably gets traded before he ever makes the Knights. So they're just taking the best player available, and in my mind, that's Trevor Connolly. Also plays in the USHL. He's a winger. He puts out points. And, if he ends up being a Golden Knight, I think will be a good player for them. Next year, guys, number 20, with the New York Islanders taking Luchenko. He's actually a centerman for the Guelph Storm. Solid player. I think when I look at the Islanders, they definitely need some help up front, especially, I think, that center position. So he should fit a need. Plus, he is actually probably right around best player available at this spot. Number 21 here with the LA Kings, take another Norwegian player in Solberg. So I actually saw something that said how no Norwegian players have been taken the first round of the draft. In this draft, there actually might be 2, and that is the case in my mock. So I think LA Kings definitely could use some help on defense in the future, kind of looking at when Doughty's retiring. A lot of the other guys there aren't the youngest aside from Brant Clark, so I feel like Solberg could be a big part of that team in the future. And I feel like they already got a good group of young forwards led by Quentin Byfield. So Solberg, to me, definitely fills a need for that team. Next up, guys, at number 22, we got Paris Kak getting drafted by the Nashville Predators. He's a forward in the WHL. He put up a ton of points, I think over 100. When I look at the Predators, I think they're a team that definitely needs scoring. You look at that team, I still can't believe they made the playoffs, honestly. So he's a guy that in the future should be able to jump into that lineup and definitely help them put up points. And now next year, guys, number 23, the Toronto Maple Leafs taking Isaka Boisford. Hopefully I said his name right. I'm honestly not too sure how to pronounce it, but he's currently committed to the University of North Dakota. Again, the Leafs are a team. They don't need to make the team right away. They're just trying to look for the best player available. I feel like that's probably Boisford. And 2, with a college player, you obviously got to worry about them potentially not signing with you. The Leafs are a big-time organization. I don't think they have to worry about that. I feel like you only have to worry about that if you're a team like, say, the Carolina Hurricanes, I guess, I was about to say Arizona, but Utah, I'm not really sure what the case can be with that team. But if you're a big-name organization, you don't have to worry about a player, staying in college and then not signing with you. In terms of the Avalanche here, guys, number 24, I've got them taking Emery. In my opinion, the best defenseman available at this point. And I feel like right now they got a sick top 4 in the NHL with Taves, Makar, Manson, and Girard. But in terms of defensive prospects, they definitely don't have a ton. Forward prospect, they actually are looking pretty decent. So I feel like they can definitely afford to pick for position here, especially because they have so many good young forwards, and they go with Emery. Next year, guys, number 25, we got the Boston Bruins taking Bodwin. He's another centerman from the OHL. I think he played for Barrie. Pretty big as well. I want to say like 6'2". Obviously, Boston Bruins, they could use some center help right now and in the future. So I feel like Bodwin, best player available at this spot probably as well. Definitely addresses a position of need for them. Next year, guys, at number 26, the Montreal Canadiens. I think they have a hell of a draft here. They get Demidov at 5, and then they get Cole Hudson here at 26. Might not be the best player available, but they already got his brother. I'm looking at the Devils, taking Luke Hughes to go with Jack Hughes. I mean, Hudson, the brothers, could be sick in the future for Montreal. Cole Hudson, I've seen projected to go anywhere from like the late first, early second. I think for them, if they have him around that spot, why not take him? Have the brothers together as they grow in your system. I feel like that could be a really, really sick duo. And now next you guys at number 27, the Carolina Hurricanes taking Chernyshov. Hopefully I said that right. He's a Russian prospect. I've definitely seen ranked a little bit higher, but I think because of the Russian factor, he will drop a bit. Now, Carolina Hurricanes have a lot of Russian prospects in their system. I don't really think they're scared to take him here. And at 27, I think that's really good value. And obviously, they're already stacked at defense. So in my mind, they can just afford more than defenseman. He's the next best player available. Why not take him? And now next year, guys, number 28 of the Calgary Flames taking Henry Muse. So he's the guy that was originally supposed to be like a top 10 pick in this year's draft. And I've seen him fall all the way out of the first round, depending like what projections you're looking at, what rankings. But I really think that he's a guy that has that potential to be, you know, a solid offensive defenseman in the NHL. And when you look at the Flames, that's definitely what they need. Even before they trade away like their entire D-core this year in Hanifin, Tanev, Zadorov. None of those guys really bring to the table what Muse does, which is obviously that offensive game. So I think he's definitely worth the risk for them. And again, I'm talking about teams, you know, with 2 picks like the Canadiens. They walk away from the first round with Tidja Ginla, Henry Muse. I think that's very, very solid. And now next year, guys, number 29, we have the Dallas Stars taking Andrew Basha. He's a solid winger in the WHL, put up a good amount of points. I think for them, they're again another team that's just, you know, looking for best player available. That could definitely be him. Obviously, time will tell. And now next year, guys, number 30 with the New York Rangers taking Charlie Elick. And he actually plays for the Brandon Wheat Kings, the same team that Brandon Schneider played for, which I think is pretty cool. And obviously, like their big defensemen, they got Ryan Lindgren, Jacob Trouba, Condre Miller, Schneider, who I just mentioned. I think Charlie Elick definitely like fits that bill. In terms of their team, I think they're definitely looking more at defense and forward, especially if they are looking to trade away Jacob Trouba, which is a rumor I heard. Gonna be tough with his contract, but yeah, I think the Rangers, Charlie Elick is kind of a perfect fit. Number 31, we got the Anaheim Ducks here. I wish they would go back to Mighty Ducks even with the logo. They take Hemming here, Emil Hemming from Finland. I think for them, they already got their defenseman Salayev. They're looking for best forward available. Hemming should be it. He's a Finnish winger, obviously playing over in the Finnish league. Not going to be putting up a ton of points, but he has been playing against men. So I'm really curious to see kind of how he turns out. And then finally here, guys, at 32, the Philadelphia Flyers. I feel like they're really happy having Berkeley Catton fall to them, so they decided to take a risk here and take Aaron Kivaharju at 32. He was another guy, kind of like Muse, originally projected top 10. I think even top 5 like a year ago in this draft. He's fallen all the way to the first round, but I think get him the last pick in the first round. He's a guy that definitely has still that high potential. If you can get him to turn around, be the player he was supposed to a year ago, I think that'd be an absolute steal for the Flyers. So right there, guys, are my final 2024 NHL, you know, mock draft picks. We'd love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments section below. Do you like the pick I made for your team or do you not? Let me know in the comments section. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day. Goodbye.